Yo, what is up, big dogs? Welcome to my channel, and today I want you to forget everything you know about RPGs. Path of Exile 2 will redefine your gaming experience with its dark and complex world. If you've never set foot in Wraeclast like me, I hope this review helps you out when you decide to play PoE 2 or not. Let's jump right in. Coming from games like Call of Duty, League of Legends, and Destiny 2, the first thing I noticed about PoE 2 are the visuals. The visual experience in PoE 2 was very striking and different for me. Path of Exile 2 has a dark and gritty aesthetic that really pulls you into its grim world of Wraeclast. The character models, environments, and spell effects have all been upgraded from the first game, or at least that's what the research I did suggested. This offers a visually rich experience, even if you're coming in fresh like me. The game's atmosphere is immediately engaging and setting the tone for an adventure that feels both epic and oppressive at times. Let's talk gameplay. Path of Exile 2 does an incredible job of making you feel like you're in an action RPG where every decision matters. Speaking of things that matter, let's talk about the control scheme. The control scheme has been updated to WASD movement, which feels intuitive and smooth, especially if you're used to action games outside of the ARPG genre. Combat is more deliberate than what you might expect from similar games, with dodge rolling mechanics that add a layer of strategy reminiscent of titles like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. As someone new to the franchise, the learning curve can be steep, but it is also very rewarding. I'd also like to add that you can even use a controller, and the gameplay feels just as amazing, if not even better. Even with the smooth gameplay, the skill tree is where Path of Exile 2 really shines. It's vast, complex, and can be initially overwhelming, but it's also a part of the game's charm. You have over 1,500 passive perks to choose from, and the customization of your character feels almost endless. This aspect of the game encourages experimentation and creativity in the build crafting. Even if you're starting from zero knowledge of the first game system, it's still really fun. Path of Exile also does a really good job of creating new enemies for you to fight. I swear, in every area you find a new enemy, and it's crazy because they all do different things. The other thing Path of Exile does really well is creating a gameplay loop. There's lots of fun, unique gameplay loops you can create with your new build paths. Now I want to talk to you guys about my experience with this story. While it might sound like a continuation of Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2 actually does a great job of introducing you to its world. The narrative isn't groundbreaking, but it's engaging enough to keep you invested in your journey through Wraeclast. The lore is deep, with every character and monster contributing to the world's rich backstory. As a new player, I appreciated how the game slowly unfolds its history, making it accessible without prior knowledge. The voice lines and appearances of certain characters did a good job of hooking me in and making me want to read lore like the basement dweller that I am. One of the most talked about aspects in Path of Exile 2 is the endgame. Even in early access, there's an overwhelming amount of content that we can dive into post-campaign, which is super exciting and rewarding. The various bosses with unique mechanics to the different in-game activities like mapping, there's a lot to keep you coming back. However, this is where complexity ramps up. For someone like me who's new to this series, it's a bit daunting but also exciting because there's so much to learn and master. The replayability option here is in spades, with so many class options and build possible. Even if you've completed the campaign, there's motivation to start anew, with different strategies or classes. Path of Exile 2 can be an overwhelming experience at first, but Path of Exile has a passionate community, which is a blessing. I love reading the world chat and seeing hilarious comments of players just trying to help each other. If you come from other communities like League of Legends, this is a completely new concept. The PoE community has created countless guides, which I find invaluable. However, there's a learning curve that can feel like a barrier. The game does attempt to bridge this gap with better tutorials and tooltips, but there's a lot to unpack. For accessibility, while the game isn't overly friendly to complete novices, the effort to make it more welcoming is evident. There are quality of life improvements like easier respec options that make the game less punishing and allow you to experiment with your build paths. And like any game, it's always better with friends, so if you've got friends that are playing this game too, you guys will have a blast and really enjoy it. So, should you play Path of Exile 2 if you've never touched the first game? Absolutely. If you're up for a challenge, it's a game that rewards patience and dedication with deep gameplay, an engaging world, and endless build customization. Just be prepared to invest time in learning its systems. If you have any tips for us new players, please put them in the comments. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, peace!